Oh, thank you, Isabel. You're one of the reasons I'm running. I'm Star Parker, for those that don't know me. For 25 years I've been in public life. Anyone that knows my story knows that as a young woman I was on welfare. But after a Christian conversion, I changed my life. I completed college and I started a business. After the '92 Los Angeles riots destroyed my business, I began my work in public policy. I worked on welfare reform, consulted there from '94 to '96, and then I founded my current organization, CURE. It's a Center for Urban Renewal and Education. We're a policy think tank that provides market-based solutions for public policy to fight poverty. CURE is based in Washington, D.C., but I reside here in Southern California. And over the years, I've been asked to run for public office, but I always thought I could be more effective on the outside. My heroes had always been Mother Teresa, who said, if you change one, you change the world. So I dedicated my life to touching just one. My other hero was Harriet Tubman, who said, you know, while we were trying to figure out an answer to this big moral question on the table during her time of slavery, there were people inside, like Benjamin Franklin. There are others on the outside, like Harriet Beecher Stowe, who penned Uncle Tom's Cabin, or Elijah Lovejoy, who had a printing press and died printed the abolitionist motto, it may be legal, but it's unlawful in God's eyes. But you had others like Harriet Tubman, and while they were trying to figure out a scientific or political answer to slavery, she was pulling them out one by one. I thought I could do that in America, but things have changed. The state of affairs in this country today are tenuous. Our nation is so deeply divided that we are at a crossroads similar to in the 1850s, to where we can no longer go on against our core principles. We're at a moment in history similar to in the 1850s when Abraham Lincoln opened the scripture, said, a nation divided against itself cannot stand. He then declared, sit down and eat. Okay. In his famous speeches, and especially when he spoke to Stephen Douglas, that we're going to be all one thing or we're going to be all the other. We can no longer be both. We can no longer be half slave and half free. We're going to be all free or we're going to be all slave. We're at that critical cross point again where we can no longer go on. We're a house divided against itself and we can't stand. We're going to be all free or we're going to be all slave. And I think that that's what the Tea Party movement is about. We want to be free. So this March, when the Los Angeles County Republican Party asked me to return home and consider the 37th district and make a run against Laura Richardson, I had to say yes. I concluded, like most Americans, that we need representatives in Washington, D.C. that will fight consistently to restore traditional values, limited government, free markets, and a strong national defense. Traditional values, because choice loses its meaning if it doesn't matter what you choose. Limited government, because the role of government is to protect private property and personal pursuits, not to exploit them or to plunder them. Free markets, because profit is not only good, it's moral. And without it, we don't have the capital to invest in tomorrow's inventions to create jobs. And a strong national defense, because true justice is a rule of law that promotes civility and peace by judging tyrants and violators. We are at a critical cross point right now that we might not survive. So thus I was compelled, like you, to do something. As an activist, an author, a commentator, an entrepreneur, I refuse to give up on the greatness of this country and its potential. We've all heard the saying that evil prevails when good men do nothing. So I'm running for the United States Congress and I could use your help. I'm running to work on behalf of the American people because my life story is an embodiment of American exceptionalism. That anyone from any background, any ethnicity, if they will play by the rules, work hard, anyone that may even need a fresh start like myself can excel and they can build prosperity. Many in my district of the 37 haven't heard the message of freedom. For too long, the people of the 37th district have only heard political promises of entitlement, while their family lives collapse, their neighborhoods crumble, their schools underperform, and their unemployment rates soar. We're looking now, this bottom half of Los Angeles County, with 22% unemployment rates. Even good people get desperate when they're looking at 22% unemployment rates. And I can identify firsthand with the hopelessness and despair of many of those that are in my district of Compton, Carson, Signal Hill, and much of Long Beach, because I once lived on welfare. For more than 7 years, my life wandered in and out of meaninglessness. And after my rebirth and setting some strict lifestyle goals, developing a strong work ethic, and completing college, my impoverished situation began to change. Today I run an operation and organization in Washington, D.C. We look at market-based solutions to fight poverty and to help the poor realize their dream. But we have been hindered in our work because of this new administration and those that are abusing the power of government that hold seats of power in the Congress. I believe the income redistribution model unacceptable in a country so free, so rich, and so bursting with opportunity. It's not only unacceptable, it's inconsistent with our Constitution, which is based in freedom and personal responsibility, and it's a violation of the Scripture. The 10th commandment says, "Thou shalt not covet." And redistribution socialism is rooted in covetousness. Somebody has something somebody else doesn't have, so we go hire politicians that take it from them. That's theft. The IRS doesn't write letters to inevitably give to a poverty program so somebody like Star Parker can let their lives unravel into a little dark hole. No, the IRS sends you a note, and if you don't pay, you are forced to jail. So now I want to go inside the political apparatus. I want to help shape public policy that will unleash the potential of not only the folks in the 37th Congressional District, but for any others in this great country of ours that are poor, that are tired, or that are, in the words of Our Lady Liberty, yearning to breathe free. The people of my district need a steadfast leader. They need someone who will be honest with them about what it takes to build prosperity and a prosperous environment for themselves and for their children. They deserve a leader who will fight every obstacle standing in the way of them getting schools that work. They deserve a leader who understands economics and that can use this understanding to help shape public policy that will attract business and investment in entrepreneurs. I not only understand business, I have a degree in business. I have a degree, a marketing degree, international business as a minor, and I've been in business for 25 years. I still make payroll. I know what it means to make payroll. Ultimately, this community just needs somebody that will care about them. Somebody that will look at the weakest link, the lost sheep, the lost coin, the lost son, and will make sure that we have policies in this country that, in the words of Peggy Noonan, or the paraphrase what Peggy Noonan recently said when she said there are now too many people in the wagon and not enough pulling it. What we need to do is encourage people to get out of the wagon. For 25 years, I've worked in our hard-hit communities across this country, and I know the disease that has gripped them, and I know where it leads. And I've dedicated my life to finding solutions to fight poverty so that the vulnerable can live free. When we think about what has happened with the engineering of the social welfare state in this country, that now those that hold political power in Washington are trying to bring to the rest of the nation, we can look in any inner city or rural community and see where we are going if we don't stop the hemorrhaging now. It is underappreciated that during the 60s, when they targeted the black community and started this social engineering, that black families were intact. 78% of husbands were in their homes with their wives raising their children. Today, the out-of-wedlock birth rate in black America is 72%. And when family life collapsed, the community collapsed and created what we call a tragedy of the commons. And these ideas of the left, secular socialism, are equal opportunity destroyers. And if you look at what happened to the majority community, the white community's out-of-wedlock birth rate during those same 60s was 3%. Today it is 33%. We can no longer go on against our core principles. I hope that you'll remember me on November 2nd. You may not be able to vote for me unless, of course, you're from Chicago or you know how to get in touch with the folks at Acorn and figure out come into that area under the radar. But you might not be able to vote for me, but if you will help me, you can help me